Hello friends, associates and brethren. This is Nkosikhona Mazibisa, aka the Chief, the founder of Mazibisa Inc., a print strategy consultancy firm, and also SWAT, the Taste of India, a confectionery company based in Bulawayo. Outside business now, back into politics. This time I'm running as an independent council candidate for Ward 14, Elopengola. That's where I grew up in. One of the key issues that came out during strategic engagement with the community was we need a generational consensus. We need young people to take up a role through dynamic leadership because our time has come. Usually people say youth are the leader of tomorrow, but tomorrow starts today. So during that discussion, we felt that this is 2018. We need to be involved in all spheres of influence. We have three key areas of interest that we identified as we came up with the election manifesto. The first one is inclusion. What is inclusion then? It has been said quite a number of times through radios and TVs, but for us, it was a sticking issue in Ward 14. Inclusion in terms of total member involvement, that is the youth, women, the old generation, people living with disability, all of them involved both in key decision making. When we say key decision making, we mean what? Through mobilization, discussion, and implementation. These three key stages are very important when you talk of inclusion, so that everyone has got a total member involvement leading to collective ownership, collective responsibility. Then that makes Ward 14 a proper ward. Secondly, if we've got proper inclusion of everyone participating in local issues, it then leads to new ideas, new innovation. That is what you call innovation. Innovation in terms of what? We have the same tired old method of doing service delivery, but when we have got inclusive ideas put together, it leads to innovation, leading to what you call responsive service delivery that deals directly with the human needs, specifically for men, for women, and for youth, and for people living with disability. So Ward 14 is made up of 5,000 households in total. So once you have put people together, then you have got new brilliant ideas. For example, if you put people together and their new ideas, it then leads to what you call proper waste management. One of the key problems that I've come across in Ward 14 is the best of sewages. The best of sewages sometimes been unattended for 5 good months. I remember I once posted on Facebook where I ended up going to the deputy supervisor, Mr. Barnabas, to deal with the issues within my ward, within my community. So when you have innovation, it then leads to proper waste management. How? Through biogas. Because all these sewage pipes, they've outlived their time, they tend to burst. Then what is the proposal? The proposal is to let's have biogas systems put in place within Ward 14 so that when they spill into a biogas digest, then they produce energy. When they produce energy, what happens to it? Energy is then transferred to local lights. Remember, we still have close to 4, 5, 6 tower lights within the community, but the community is too large and those tower lights cannot cover the whole ward. So when you have put in lights through biogas, then it means we have proper and sufficient light, which is energy friendly, which is climate friendly as well. Outside biogas as well, we move into what recreation and youth centers. Ward 14, as we have said, is made up of 5,000 households. 60% of the population is made up of youths, and youths only have one youth center, and that youth center is run under the Ministry of Youth. Unfortunately, the youths who are utilizing that place are not coming from Ward 14. Why? It is because the programs that are put in place, they do not cater the needs of the people within Ward 14. So what are we proposing as young people is, once we are put in office, we'll then work with everyone within the community to make sure that the youth center and the Women's Craft Center, which has been privatized by some individual, it is then brought back into the mainstream, into the public, so that we put in place women empowerment programs, youth upliftment programs, and dialogues and collaborations. Remember, this is how Silicon Valley started, through collaborations. I strongly believe that there's somebody somewhere in Ward 14 who has got a brilliant idea that can deal with social issues within Ward 14. And when we've put in local innovation and entrepreneurship, it leads to what? It leads to dynamic leadership. It leads to local economic opportunities. Ward 14 has got 3 schools: Mawaba Primary School, Nkanyezi Primary School, and Skhulile High School. I strongly believe that these 3 schools can produce an ace school student, can produce a brilliant student. If all of these schools are empowered, if all of these schools are encompassed by necessary tools, by necessary skills, and relevant people who have collective ownership. Lastly, as I close the session, I don't want to promise people something that is happened in America or ABCD. That will become an individual thing. What I'm promising people is collective responsibility, open dialogue, word engagement. This is not into Mazibisa, into yetisonke. Put together sharp ideas, constructive criticism, then we can build a proper word. A proper word leads to a proper community leads to a proper city, and a proper city leads to a proper country. Sharp, hashtag kasifune bomvulu, lonya kasivotele, umuntu ohlala ku Ward 14. Vote Nkosikhona Mazibisa, an independent council candidate for Ward 14. Sharps Coco.